This video is brought to you by BetUS Sportsbook and Casino.
Yo! What's the deal, y'all? What is the deal? Welcome to another Raider Nation Unlimited. I'm your man, Wasted Talent. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Salute to everybody who's been pulling up. We have an action-packed show today for you. Before we get to rocking and rolling, I would like to say that this show is powered by BetUS, America's Sportsbook Supreme. I'm going to be honest with you guys. The season is starting. I want to start this show off right, and I want to give you guys a little information. BetUS, 125% sign-up bonus, up to $2,000 on your first 3 deposits. Fast and easy deposit withdrawal process. Check out BetUS and check it out at the link pinned at the top of the description. Hit that link. That is my personal link. Show them the power of the Wasted Talent Army. But nonetheless, it is time to get rocking and rolling. There's a lot of news, a lot of comings and goings in amongst the National Football League. Get this thing up. Pay your bar tabs. Tell a friend. Get wasted with your brother Wasted. Share this thing out to all social media. And what is the deal, everybody? Let me get my shout-outs and salutations before we get to rocking and roll. We got over 111 in the room. Get wasted. My guy Can't Get Right is in a place. Raiders! My brother, Huey P, is in the place to be. My guy, Martin, from way across the pond. Chip, cheerio, Martin. Graham Cam, Mod Father Extraordinaire is in here. Nation, what it do? Sean High Stakes Johnson, man. I mean, this man is a veritable abyss of useless Raider knowledge and useful Raider knowledge. Shout out to my guy, Sean Johnson. My guy, Dan High Stakes Teaser is in a place to be. Oh, my God. Hoofy Raider is in the place to be, man. Swift Raider. Anthony is in the place to freaking be. Peyton Hurdle, Adam Sweeney, Bob Rutherford, Mad Mike. Oh, my God. Niles is in a place. Joey Cheek is in a place, man. I mean, listen, man. We have an action-packed show, everybody. Let's get started. Y'all. Now, look, man. It's time to warm it up. The Raiders made a move yesterday. I wanted to go live yesterday, but I got a little tied up, and I said, hey, you know what, man? Wait till tomorrow. This can wait till tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? Because the Raiders went out there and made a move. Now, we all know that the Raiders started doing some kind of weird things, right? You know, we had our initial 53-man roster, and then we made some adjustments. We cut our former third-round pick, which initially made the 53-man roster, Byron Young. And, you know, it was a little it was surprising because, you know, to be honest, initially, you know, I'm looking at it from the perspective of they drafted this guy pretty high. Third-round pick is not just some throwaway pick, right? And then I start thinking about it, I'm like, well, you know, Antonio Pierce didn't draft him. David Ziegler and Josh McDaniels drafted him. So I understand it, but I was just a little curious to why, you know, Byron Young made it if they were going to just waive him. Just, you know, a few days later, it was insane. And, you know, they went out there with that subsequent move and claimed Jonah Lelu and Thomas Harper via waivers, waived Byron Young and MJ Devonshire, and placed Brandon Facyson on the IR. So they were pretty active. From what I understand, MJ Devonshire has been brought back and placed on the practice squad. And Byron Young has wound up with the Eagles. I'm going to be honest with you. Kind of worries me that Byron Young wound up with the Eagles, man. It kind of worries me. It worries me a lot. The Eagles and Howie Roseman have been great with free agency. A lot of times Howie Roseman doesn't draft very well, but he's great with free agency. And now Byron Young is going to team up with the guy that they compared him to coming out of the draft. and the guy that we wanted over Tyree Wilson. Man, I mean, this is man, this really, really, really bothers me. Really bothers me, man. You know, it really, really bothers me, guys. We got over 200 in the room. Get wasted with your brother wasted, man. Yeah, no, I said Young got picked up by the Eagles, man. By the Eagles, man. And I'm telling my guy Big Mike is in a place to be. Shout out to Big Mike. Shout out to my brother LV Maximus as well, man. But I'm gonna be honest with you, man. The Eagles bringing in Byron Young is concerning, man. It is concerning, man, because the Eagles, man, they have some really they have some really stud young defensive tackles, man. Look, man, we wanted Jalen Carter, man. I know I did, right? And now, you got Carter, man, and you got, man, you got a lot of young guys that man, I don't want to go too far into the Eagles 53-man roster, but I mean, my goodness, man. Some of these kids that they have there, man, when in the defensive tackle room is very, very alarming. And the fact that they're willing to go out there and go get a Byron Young is man, that's just the cherry on top. Because I think Byron Young has a lot of talent. Now, when you start talking about how Byron Young performed in the preseason, I'm going to be honest with you. He did not play well. He didn't play well at all, man. He didn't play well. And I'm going to be honest with you. You have to show improve, especially some of the people that we have, man. Thank you, sweetheart. Appreciate it, baby. Look, I'm worried about it. Look, Jordan Davis is over there. Byron Young is over there. Jalen Carter's over there. Look, it worries me because the Eagles are able to develop talent when it comes to the trenches, man. They've always been able to develop talent when it comes to the trenches. It worries me, man. Yeah, you know why? Because we draft I'm not a nostalgic Raider fan. I'm not a nostalgic Raider fan, right? But what I do not like doing is I don't like giving up on young players too fast. I don't like doing it. I mean, the guy was drafted last year, didn't play much, going into his second year, and then we give up on him. And people say it's dependent on the system, and I understand that, right? But the thing is, this system has not changed. That's the one thing about this team that hasn't changed is the defensive scheme. Patrick Graham was here when they drafted this boy. Patrick Graham was here when they drafted this boy. It's the same system we played last year. So what has changed now from then? Nothing. And I'm gonna be honest with you. And Sam Raider said this. Carter started off high in the beginning, but then you didn't hear much from him later on in the season. Could it just be a depth move on the Eagles' part? The thing is that he's a depth move until he flashes. A lot of people think that this guy has a lot of talent, including myself. I think it's very, very early. It's very early. So look, that happened. And I'm sure you guys have heard we brought in a veteran corner. We brought in a corner that, has played under one Patrick Graham in previous years. And his name is former New York Giants cornerback Darnay Holmes. The Raiders brought him and added him in yesterday off the waiver wire. He was subsequently cut by the New York Giants, and it was a little surprising because he played pretty well in the preseason under the Giants. Holmes was selected in the fourth round of the 2020 draft, and he spent his first two seasons under Raider defensive coordinator Patrick Graham, who held the same role with the Giants back in 2020 and 2021. Now, Holmes made a strong first impression coming to the league. I remember this because I live in the area. He made his first 5 starts in 12 contests as a rookie. He had 30 tackles, 5 passes defense, 2 quarterback hits, an interception, fumble recovery, and a half a sack. So he was really disruptive. And, he returned the following year. He made 11 starts. Then he played 15 games in his 3rd season and starting in just 2 contests. So he was kind of like a depth piece. In total, Holmes tallied 107 tackles, 18 passes defended, 4 interceptions, 3 tackles, 2 for loss, 2 forced fumbles, and 1 fumble recovery. And last season, Holmes played in a career best 16 games, but he saw a career low 123 snaps. He did, however, post 2 interceptions and a forced fumble with those limited amount of snaps. So, Holmes, that UCLA product has kind of had a nose for the ball in his limited time on the field. And that signing came subsequently after MJ Devonshire was jettisoned and then brought back to the Raiders. And, this addition kind of seems to be another step towards what the Raiders are attempting to add, which is depth in their secondary. But regardless, right, Holmes' experience should be valuable. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. When they signed Darnay Holmes, I'm going to be honest with you, bro. It just made me a little angry. Because if you knew that you were looking for a veteran corner, if you knew this, right, you have a guy that is going to walk into the Hall of Fame who is playing for a team that is in the same boat as the Raiders for the Minnesota Vikings in a Stephon Gilmore. To me, there was no good reason for the Raiders not to go out there and go sign Stephon Gilmore. There was no good reason. No good reason. I'm gonna be real. No good reason. There's no good reason, bro. I'm gonna say it for the 4th time. I'm gonna do a Dr. Umar Johnson. There's no good reason. There is no good reason. And bro, look, you say he had options. I don't even think the Raiders were in the market for Stephon Gilmore. You think that Gilmore would have chose the Vikings over us? I seriously doubt it, bro. And a lot of people say, because Gilmore would want to start over Bennett. I'm not happy with that. Like, my thing is that Stephon Gilmore, if he should start over Bennett, then look, if he's good enough to start over Ja'Cory and Bennett, then that means we're a better defense. And that means that Ja'Cory and Bennett will have to come off that bench and get another year better. Maybe him not starting and having a guy like Stephon Gilmore would help the whole roster. Telesco, for my money, has been a little slow to the trigger with certain moves. That's just my personal opinion. I am not going to sit up here and trash Tom Telesco because there's not a lot, going on. He's done pretty well, man. But if I'm being honest, if you knew you needed a vet, you go bring in Stephon Gilmore. You go bring Stephon Gilmore. I think one of the reasons Stephon Gilmore wound up there is because he didn't have as much of a robust market as he once thought. There are a lot of other free agents out there. I don't think the Raiders are done. There are a lot of people that say that, Adoree Jackson Jr., all this other stuff. I'm cool on Adoree Jackson Jr. He's not played well in the last 3 years, right? And, when you start talking about, people who have done well in the Patrick Graham system, right? A lot of people talk about who has shined. The guys who have played the best in Patrick Graham's system, are, James Bradbury in 2020. He had a 79.8 grade. Number 2, Adoree Jackson Jr. in 2021. That was the last year he played well. Was 74.9. Number 3, another guy who was available. Now, all 3 of these guys are available. Rock Ya-Sin, 65.7 in 2022 for our beloved Raiders. Amik Robertson is not available. He was a guy that we jettisoned. And then the 5th guy who played the best under Patrick Graham is Bradbury again in 2021. He had a 62.8 grade, man. So the most obvious takeaway from this is that, Bradbury shows up twice, right? Now, from what I understand, Bradbury could be had and available. Bradbury has not played well last year. You know what I mean? But he played well under Patrick Graham. He's a Patrick Graham guy, right? Adoree Jackson is a guy who has not been able to be the healthiest. So a lot of people are saying you could bring him in, he could return kicks. He hasn't returned kicks consistently in years as well, too. So, I mean, I don't know, man. We got almost 400 in the room. And everybody says, unfortunately, Facyson is still here. But Facyson is on IR, y'all. Facyson is on IR. And, Thomas Harper. See, this is the thing. And LV, I'm glad you brought up Thomas Harper, right? Thomas Harper Thomas Harper is a beast, man. I like Thomas Harper, but the thing is, I'm bringing in people, I'm talking about people who have more of a connection to Patrick Graham, man. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm talking about these guys. Now, we have brought in Thomas Harper, right? We brought in Thomas Harper, man, but the thing is, I wanted to talk more about those guys, right? Now, Harper was waived by the Chargers, so this is a Tom Telesco move, right? And I like the move, man. I like the move. Harper can be a beast, man. I believe so, right? But what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to draw the parallel to Patrick Graham and his system, right? Who are the corners that perform really well with Patrick Graham? Because I'm going to be honest with you, Patrick Graham has never really had a superstar corner perform in his system before. He hasn't. I mean, he's had guys play well, like Logan Ryan played really well for him, but he's never had that superstar guy that kind of take off in his system. I believe Jack Jones might be one of the best corners to ever play in his system. Now, when people talk about Xavier Howard has a lot of personal demons, right? And like LV Maximus alluded to, Bradbury is out for several weeks, right? But if I'm being honest, if there's a way you could take a flyer on him and stash him away or bring in a Rock Ya-Sin, I would love to see that. Adoree Jackson Jr., I am a guy who I'm out on him. I'm a guy who's out on him, man. And breaking news, everybody, Brandon Ayuk reached an agreement, 4-year extension worth $120 million for the 49ers. So we don't really give a shit about that. But it's a good thing that one of the teams that we are going against and we're trying to topple, the Chiefs, did not go and take a flyer on Brandon Ayuk because that was something I was concerned about. So good for him, man. Good for him, man. You done with Rock Ya-Sin? He is cheeks now. Now, Will, you right? You were right. You were right. Rock Ya-Sin has not played well in the last 2 years. Now, let's pull up a little. Hey, listen, y'all. Facyson has been released. Facyson was on IR, right? Wait a minute. Let's look at, because I thought Brandon Facyson was on IR. Is he on IR or has something changed? Let's pull this up, y'all. Nah, he was placed on injured reserve. Brandon Facyson was placed on injured reserve, just like I said previous in the show, guys. What do you guys? Because a lot of times stuff happens while I'm on the air and you guys bring it up. So I trust my audience, man. When you guys say stuff in the chat, I take it seriously. But he was placed on injured reserve list. I think he has an injury settlement or something. He's on the injury reserve list. So this is a man that we don't really need to concern ourselves with at this point. He got an injury settlement. Yeah. So what are we talking about? You got somebody he got cut. He didn't get cut. Either which way, we don't need him. It's not here. He was on IR, just like I said earlier. You guys are killing me, man. They paid him an injury settlement and released him. Okay. That's different. They ain't just all and out releasing. That's a lot different. Yeah, but listen, Facyson was never a true starter. Look, I don't want to careen into the semantics of that right now because I need the he's been removed from IR. All right, cool. Appreciate that, y'all. He was released about an hour ago. Okay, cool. So he's released. That roster spot is free. So we have another spot opening now. So now we could careen into who we can bring in, right? Who would you guys like to see us bring in? We got almost 500 in the room. Get wasted with a brother wasted. Please. My guy. And Rudin Esh. I don't understand why we can't get a solid veteran corner. I don't understand the point of signing Holmes when we don't have a proven QB cornerback number one, coupon time. Bro. And this is the thing for me. I think I like Tom Telesco's measured approach. I like it. But a lot of the times when you have a gaping hole in his roster, I would prefer for him to be a little aggressive at times. I want to see somebody that I've actually seen play a lot. Now, listen, Harper is the kind of kid that you can develop, right? But at the end of the day, I would prefer them to go out there and get somebody that has previously played at a Pro Bowl level. It's unbelievable, man. Yeah, Raider Dangerfield. Yes, we said that at the beginning of the show. Happy, MJ Devonshire's back. And I'm happy because that's a kid I feel like the Raiders can really, really develop. But, let me get to the super chat, man. My guy Omar with the $2 holler, man. Most defensive tackles take about 3 years to shine. That is a fact, Omar. That is a fact, bro. That is a fact. It takes these guys a little bit more time to develop, bro. Defensive tackles, I'm not the guy who wants to run people out of here. The only people I'm really, really hard on are first-round picks who are taken in the top 10. When you take a guy that's a first-round pick in the top 10, you're going to get the snaps you're supposed to get, and I'm expecting for you to be a starter. That is what I'm expecting for you to happen. My guy Chris for Raiders gifting 5 Raider Nation Unlimited Wasted Talent memberships. Thank y'all for supporting the channel. This is the best way to support the channel. Thank y'all for gifting the memberships, man. It helps out tremendously here, keeping the lights on the Raider Nation Unlimited. And to be honest with you, man, anybody in that chat who received one of those memberships, I need y'all to do me a favor and thank Chris for Raiders for his generosity, man. Appreciate you. My guy, Big Al. Shout out to Big Al, man. That's why not drafting Mitchell or Arnold hurts. Whoo. Big Al, I can't argue with that logic, my brother. I cannot argue with that, man. I can't, man. Leaky. Wasted, I said earlier. This is Najee Harris' contract year. If the Steelers don't extend him next offseason, I say we get him. Leaky, I think this is a little premature, my brother. It's very, very premature. Yo, let's let this all play out. We got Zeus. We got to let him develop. We don't know whether Zamir White can develop into a player who's a more effective player than Najee Harris. Najee Harris has a hefty price tag. I'm not really into paying a running back. We didn't draft that kind of money, bro. I'm be honest with you. Julio Jones. I'm fine with giving guys time as long as there's an improvement that I can see. Tyrese is just ass at this moment. This is last season to shoe out. Now, bro, that's the thing, bro. Tyree Wilson, this guy was a rookie last year, bro. Come on, dog. I think you meant show out. But, yeah, you definitely meant show out because W was next to E on the keyboard. Gotta be patient, my brother. You have to be patient, yo. My guy, John High Stakes Parker. Good evening, Wasted. Outstanding show. What is your thoughts on the front line? The front defensive line offensive. As far as the front defensive line, the starters and the depth we have at ends, I'm very happy with. I'm even happy with the depth we have at defensive tackle as well. You know, I would have preferred for them to keep Byron Young to develop him because he's such a high draft pick, and I feel like he has a high talent level. And I think that, you know, now that his mindset is in the right place, when they get that technique in the right place, I think playing with a Christian Wilkins and a Max Crosby would be nothing but right. I hate the fact that we released that kid and got nothing for him, man. I hate that. It bothers me, man. Oh, MG's Raider. Telesco thinks too much. He seems like a GM who wants to look good finding dudes no one else knows, hoping they will be good in the cheap and misses out on good players. I mean, bro, I think that assessment is it's fair. I don't know if that's the assessment that we can give on him because this is a different time for Tom Telesco as opposed to when he was with the Chargers, right? So when you start talking about the Chargers have money issues. The Chargers have meddling owners, and the Chargers and their ownership are 100% in line with kind of trying to steer which way the roster goes. With the Raiders, Tom Telesco has autonomy to do what he wants. He said that he's trying to build this roster in the image of Antonio Pierce. So I think it's a collective groupthink mentality. But Tom Telesco is the straw that stirs the drink when it comes to personnel. Right now, we have a defensive-minded head coach who played defense at a high level. So there are certain things, like when we start talking about Xavier Howard, there are certain things that we really don't know. We don't know. Like Xavier Howard is out there floating around. There are other people in the league who need cornerbacks, and they're not, you know, standing in line to sign Xavier Howard. So this is something that you have to take into account, right? This is something we all got to take into account. Yes, the Eagles, Raider Kev, the Eagles picked up Byron Young, yo. Shout out to my guy, Arunesh. Appreciate you, man, for the $10 holler. I agree with Big Al. Coupon Tom doesn't want to spend. He should have drafted a top cornerback. The Cameron Richardson pick felt like a panic get after the Chiefs drafted Worthy. I don't necessarily see it like that. I mean, Cameron Richardson is a guy who was really, really productive in the SEC. He's big. He's strong. He's 6'2", has all the skills in the world. I don't think at that point in the draft when Cameron Richardson was taken that he was a reach. I think he was a guy that at that point in the draft, you take guys that have a high athletic ceiling so you could develop him. He has the right archetype for being in this locker room. He's a hard worker. I think DCam is a kid that I'm really excited about. I think he's going to take a lot of snaps away from some of these vets too. Shout out to everybody in the room. Make sure you guys pay your bar tabs. And if you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button, man. Your boy Wasted. I'm very, very close to 12K. I'm under, I think I got about like 70 to go to get to 12,000. And then after we get to 12,000 during the season, we're going to get to 15,000. And then we're going to try to get up to 20,000, man. I want to be in the upper echelon when it comes to that kind of stuff in this Raider YouTube world, man. It's a goal of mine. I never used to care about subscribers. I never cared about that kind of stuff before, right? Because this is something that, you know, this is something that it's a love, right? It's a love. So I never wanted to worry about all of that stuff, right? But I just feel like now that this is going into my third season doing this, I want to try to be the best I can be, man. That's what I always try to be the best I can be. I don't really worry about anybody else. I try to be the best that Wasted could be. You know what I mean? That's all what I've always tried to do in my life, whether it's sports or work or being a dad or being a brother or a husband or whatever, a friend. I try to be the best that I can be. I don't worry about nobody else. What everybody else do doesn't really move me, man. But I appreciate y'all, man. Thank y'all for all y'all support over the years, man. Yo, come on, man. 21. Our secondary scares me, not gonna lie. If Jones or Hobbs get hurt, it's not gonna look good. But bro, I'm gonna be honest with you. If anybody loses two big pieces like that, dude, most teams don't recover from that very easily. Right? I mean, the Raiders are not insulated from the attrition in the National Football League. There's not a lot of teams that can lose their two of their best players and be okay. So yeah, it doesn't scare me at all, man. I think, we talk about the fear of the unknown, but when I look at how this team has been over the last 20 years or 25 years, right? There's always that unknown factor, right? But the difference is, I think we have so much hope in this team. We have so much. We're so excited for this defense. If one of these guys don't turn out to be what we think, it's going to be more and more heartbreaking. Because there were other years we knew that, look, man, our secondary is terrible. It is what it is. It wasn't like we were expecting these guys to be great, but we're expecting greatness out of these young guys. We're expecting greatness out of Nate Hobbs. We're expecting greatness out of Jack Jones. And it would be heartbreaking if it didn't transpire that way. So I think we need to collectively as a fan base kind of like just step back and allow for the greatness to happen. We need to just sit back and be patient. We can't go and preemptively, go out there and go, bring somebody in that's definitely going to be a Pro Bowler. We just got to allow it to happen. I think Jack Jones got all the talent in the world, man. Morris, he goes, why you think Telesco would be a good GM? You keep making excuses for him. He was a GM and cashes paychecks. He owns the outcome. No, see, I'm not making excuses. I'm not making excuses at all. I'm telling you what the situation was, Morris. I'm here to give you information, not affirmation, bro. I'm coming here to give you information, not affirmation, bro. The guy did not control the money with the Chargers. The guy has done very well drafting certain players. Does it leave a lot to be desired? Did he win a Super Bowl? No. Have the Chargers ever won a Super Bowl? No. There's a common denominator there, right? The ownership. So don't tell me the Spanos family did the contracts 100%. So when you start talking about why the roster is the way it is, that is why. That's why the money, you can't when what you think should be happening does not line up with exactly your little, your thought process. You don't like Tom Telesco, so now you want to just blame him for everything that happened. That's fine, right? But you got to be truthful in your assessment, bro. The money aspect of any NFL roster is huge, bro. Now, since Tom Telesco has been with the Raiders, there's a lot to be excited about, and there's certain things that I would have done differently. But I'm not an NFL GM. He is, and he might know, but he might know better than I. Nobody's played a snap yet. Week 1 is not here yet. Nobody's played a meaningful snap yet, bro. So let's see what happens, my brother. Let's see what happens, man. My guy Aaron H, man. Appreciate you, bro, for the 100 pesos, man. 1 billion Spanish lira. Appreciate you, my brother. What's good, Wasted? What's your prediction for week 1, score-wise? I made my assessment on the rookie D.A. Wilson. He's not a rookie anymore, but second year, he's a bust. What do you think? I'm not going to sit up here and tell you he's a bust, bro. I don't know. Am I concerned that it's trending in that direction? You're 100% right. I'm not going to come out here and just paint that kid with a bust brush. You can't do that until after at least 3 years, man. And when you talk about a score, I don't do score predictions in the first game with a brand new quarterback because I don't know how Gardner Minshew is going to play in this particular offense. I don't know how that's going to transpire. I'm hoping, and I heard today at the press conference, Antonio Pierce saying that, they're trying to, hold Brock Bowers out of practice to protect him from himself. And he's saying that the Raiders are the healthiest that they could possibly be going into week 1. So from all intents and purposes of the word, Brock Bowers will play week 1. So we got to see with the Brock Bowers being on the field the same time as Michael Mayers and being on the same field as Devontae Adams and Jacoby Myers. We got to see what that looks like because we didn't get a chance to see any of that in the offseason. So I'm not going to give you a score prediction. I don't, the one thing I've done since I've been doing Radio YouTube is, you go out there and you want everybody to feel good about the team. I want to feel good about the team, right? But what I don't want to fall into is I don't want to give you guys bullshit. I want to make sure that I'm giving you guys real thought out and nuanced opinions. So I'm going to wait until after week 1, and then I'll be able to get going forward based off of how Gardner Minshew plays, bro. I'm going to be real with you, man. Joey Cheek, he says, my dad always said follow the 4 Ds in life: desire, determination, dedication, and discipline. That's a fact, bro. That's a fact. And the one thing about Tyree Wilson is I know the kid's working hard. I know he's determined. I know he wants to play well, right? And if he wants to do that, and with all that God-given ability, eventually it'll turn around for the kid. So I am not going to just poo-poo that kid, man. I'm not going to do that. Now, Free Thing says, we got to see if Jack Jones passes drug test. Now, today, Jack Jones was talking about, he had a random text this morning, man. And, listen, I don't think that Jack Jones is like some guy that's gonna, fail his drug test, man. Everybody keeps saying that, right? But, Jack Jones received, a drug test request 5 a.m. in the morning, and he had to be there before 8 a.m. There's a new protocol in days of team meetings, right? So he, a lot of times people say that the league is trying to jam these guys up and stuff like that. He's not happy about the time of the test, not the fact that they notified him at 5 a.m. Right? When you start talking about whether Jack will pass and we got to hold our breath, I think Jack is smart enough to know what time it is, right? And I don't necessarily think that Jack Jones will fail his test. I think Jack Jones will be fine. You know what I mean? And the NFL drug policy used to be a little different than it used to be. The NFL drug policy used to be a little different than it used to be. I'm going to pull it up for you guys, man. Let's find the NFL drug policy, right? We're going to pull this up. This is something I didn't expect to do before the show. I would normally have it pulled up for you guys, but I'm going to pull it up now. Just give me a second. Bear with me. No dead air, no dead air. And yo, guys, this show is being powered by BetUS. Shout out to BetUS, man. Man, one of the main thing, man, that that worries me about the NFL drug policy and all of these guys, is I don't really worry about banned substances and stuff like that. I as far as drugs and stuff like that. What I worry about is more so like performance enhancing drugs, stuff like that. That's what I worry about, right? So all players receive one annual test under the PES policy. A percentage of annual tests under the PES policy will also be tested for THC. From the start of training camp until the week after your last game, if you were notified of a test in the morning, you must complete the test before the start of the afternoon activities. This is how it used to be. Notified in the afternoon, you must complete your test within the hour of the end of activities, right? So the SOS test for the following substances: cocaine, synthetic marijuana, amphetamines, opiates, opioids, PCP, MDA. The PES test for the following categories: anabolic, steroids, proteins, peptides, and hormones, anti-estrogen agents, selective androgens and receptors, diuretic stimulants, gene doping. So, look, man. We don't know what kind of test he took. Did he take, the SOS test, or did he take the PES test? Did he take the one for performance enhancing drugs? Does it all come out? But when you talk about the SOA test, that's cocaine, synthetic marijuana, amphetamines, including Adderall, opiates, opioids, PCP, MDMA, i.e. ecstasy and Molly. These are the things that they're testing for. So a lot of people might be sitting up there and they might be worried about marijuana. I don't think that, they are testing for marijuana. I don't think it's as stringent as it once was, man. My guy, DeMarcus Webb, man, y'all got to relax on Tyree. The season hadn't even started yet. He got folks raging on him hours on end. Relax, let the season play out. It's like folks don't want to see him succeed. Yeah. And I'm not that guy, bro. Listen, did I want Jalen Carter? Yeah. Once we didn't get Jalen Carter, we didn't get Gonzalez or one of them guys, I said, look, we got Tyree. He's a Raider. I'm going to support him. And the Jack Jones drug test is typical NFL procedure. It's no big deal, bro. It's no big deal. This guy's been in the league. He hasn't failed the test since he's been in the league. I think he's fine. Jack will be fine, bro. And if he's not, I'll be surprised, man. Wasted. The GM's job is to put the talent in the building and compete. Does anyone question if the Chargers have the talent? No. So people need to see how he does here before they start bitching. Bro, look, I gotta understand something. We have a fan base, man, that is very, very we're like really, really bitter, bro. Some of us are very bitter. Some of us really, really are we got like Raider PTSD, and I understand it, and I mitigate that every day when I come on the air. I mitigate that every day. I understand it. I gotta be understanding, right? But look, also the job of our fan base is to police each other. We got to chill out a little bit, man. Come on now. Now, guys, today, we got some news. We got some news today about Tom Brady, man. And if Tom Brady becomes an owner of the Raiders, man. There's a lot, man. There's a lot that goes into this whole thing, man. I think Tom Brady is getting, his taste of what it is like to be a Raider. if he so chooses, man. If he so chooses, man. Tom High Stakes Brady. So Tom Brady signed this big deal, I think with Fox, right? We're going to pull this up. But Tom Brady will face some severe restrictions, man, if he does become one of the owners of the Raiders, man. Look, we got almost 600 in the room. Get wasted with your brother wasted, man. Tell a friend to tell a friend. And shout out to BetUS, y'all. So we're going to share our screen. We're going to read this article, man, from CBS about Tom Brady and his ownership stake in the Raiders, right? Tom Brady will face severe restrictions as a TV broadcaster immediately due to pending Raiders ownership. So the NFL presented Brady with this. And you knew this was coming because this is a very unique situation, man. I mean, have we ever had a partial owner of a team be in a broadcast booth in the National Football League? Now, this has happened in other sports, right? Because you've had Magic Johnson own, but he's, Magic Johnson's partial owner of a bunch of teams, right? And he was in a broadcast booth, right? Magic Johnson, Alex Rodriguez is a partial owner of a few franchises, right? The Minnesota Timberwolves, and I think he was the partial owner of the Marlins. But this is a little different. The National Football League is a whole nother ball of wax. So back in May 2023, it was reported that NFL legend Tom Brady was in discussions to become a limited partner for the Las Vegas Raiders. More than a year later, his purchase has yet to be approved. And why? There are several reasons. Among those reasons are that Mark Davis apparently proposed giving Tom Brady a steep discount of a market value, which did not go over well with other owners, according to Pro Football Talk. Now, you guys got to understand something. This is a group economics kind of a thing. That when you are owner of your team, yes, you own your team, but in the construct of being under the league, right? So there's a lot of reasons why Mark Davis has to move a certain way as an owner. Like the whole John Gruden thing. A lot of that was pressured by the other owners. If it's bad for the collective brand, then the collective will revolt on that one owner. And a lot of times you get some of these billionaire guys where the other owners in the league revolt against them. They vote against, they do all these things, and then they have to sell their team because it doesn't fit into the construct of what's best for the collective. Jerry Richardson, case in point, had to sell the Carolina Panthers. I don't think Jerry Richardson was ready to sell the Panthers. He said some disparaging things, did some disparaging things, did some dirty things behind the scene, and they made him sell his team to David Tepper. And now David Tepper has taken the crown as the worst owner in professional sports, right? But the NFL owners would not be excited about a partial owner of an NFL franchise getting the kind of access that other broadcasters have with NFL teams. That's why the league has put together a list of broadcast restrictions for Brady if his ownership bid were to be approved. After reports that there could be restrictions, the NFL decided that the restrictions would start immediately due to his pending ownership with the Raiders via the Associated Press. Brady will be able to call Raider games, but will need to the following league. He would need to be following the league's constitution and bylaws prohibiting public criticism of other teams as well as officials. ESPN reports that the league presented a slide titled Brady Broadcast Restrictions to the owners during the league meetings in Minneapolis. Here are some of the rules. Not permitted to be in another team's facility, cannot witness practice, cannot attend broadcast production meetings in person or virtually. Broadcasters receive all this access for preparing for their matchups. It enhances the overall product of the telecast, and Brady will be denied these benefits. Other staff at Fox will not have these limitations. Additionally, Brady would be subject to other league policies that affect other owners, subject to fines and even suspensions if he goes too far criticizing the game and officials or other clubs, subject to the league's gambling policies, subject to the league's anti-tampering policies, permitted only strictly to social communication with members of other clubs. It is unknown whether the NFL owners will vote on Brady's bid. The next opportunity will be in October. Now, look, it's looking to me that the league is probably going to put up so many freaking issues for Tom Brady to become an owner that he's probably not going to become an owner, bro. I don't see it. Right? Because it doesn't really seem like he has the money to buy into $1 billion franchise. Right. And also, I don't see Tom Brady being an effective broadcaster, not knowing anything about the other team. It's a lot, man. Like it is so many things that'll be out there that I personally can't see it. I personally can't see it, man. Rated Jimmy said, Wasted, you got more people watching you than Mitch. Well, shout out to y'all. I appreciate y'all, man. Thank you. You know what I'm saying? Mitch is a GOAT in this, and I'm sure it's not for long, right? Shout out to Mitch, right? Anthony Crane. Blessings, Wasted. Ready for that wasted wisdom with that silver and black energy. What is the real benefit to a Brady ownership? Would this mean the NFL might start giving us a fair shake? I don't necessarily think so, bro. Look, the hatred for the Raiders, man, goes way, way back. We've talked about this numerous times, right? And I think as long as Mark Davis owns this team, as long as they feel like they have somebody in mind who could probably maximize this brand a little more than Mark, there's always going to be that. There's always going to be that, man. Seriously. There's always going to be that, and Brady is not going to help any. I don't necessarily think to me, there's no benefit for Brady being an owner. There are a lot of great players in that have, they give their opinion on the game, right? That doesn't necessarily mean that they'll be great owners. Michael Jordan has owned 2 franchises and been a partial owner of 2 franchises, and he hasn't had much success. And that is the greatest player in sports history, damn near. In organized sports history, Michael Jordan is on a very short list of greats. Tom Brady's also on that list, right? So we don't know how great of an owner Brady would be. We really don't. So I'm not going to sit up here and say that there's any freaking, benefit to Brady owning the Raiders, man. There's none, man. My guy, J. Rowe. Wasted. Will you do Sunday mornings this season? Yeah, I'll still do it. if I'm not working, yeah, we're gonna do to get the wake up with wasted. We're gonna talk about prop bets and gambling. All we're gonna do that. We definitely gonna do that, man. I appreciate that, man. And to be honest with you, bro, I'm kind of cool on Tom Brady in general. He's not a Raider, bro. He's not a Raider. I'm cool on Brady, man. I really am. Like I was never a guy who was all. The only thing I was open to is Brady being a quarterback here because he's one of the greats. My guy Raider John, a YouTube legend in the place. Shout out to Raider John, man. Yep, Raider PTSD. I'll be waking up screaming, it was a fumble. The ball hit the floor. The whistle was blown. What are you doing with that flash call? FAB. Shout out to my guy, Raider John. Yo, my dog Thor is in a place. Shout out to my brother Thor, man, is in a place, man. Shout out to my brother Thor. Y'all, listen, man. And when we start talking about all of this Brady nonsense, man, I would prefer him just to just be a freaking broadcaster. We can keep all of that away from the Raiders because, to be honest with you, and this has nothing to do with all of the old school hate that we have for Tom Brady. That is a very, very cumbersome agreement, yo. That's a very cumbersome agreement, bro. And it leaves too much to be desired. It leaves too much for the Raiders to get hung up on based off of Tom Brady working for Fox. It's too much. So Brady has all these relationships with older players and other players and new players. He's lauded and worshipped, right? He could say the wrong thing to the wrong person, and they could say we tampering and lose draft picks. Like it's just too much, man. It's too much. So we have all of our hopes and dreams tied up in this team, and then you can have a guy who's not a Raider, who never played for the Raiders, who actually caused us nothing but misery, come into our organization as an owner and cause us some more misery. This is a guy in Tom Brady who's always had kind of a funny relationship with the rules and the parameters of the rules, and the Raiders do too, right? But I'm talking about in a way that is organizationally dangerous. You know, this is the deflator we're talking about here. This is a guy who likes to color outside of the lines. And today you can't do that shit now. You can't do it. You cannot do it. Marquise Wilder, shout out for you. The $2 holler, my brother. I was hoping TB12 would be our lucky charm. Hey, bro, look, we don't look, man. You know what luck is, man? Luck is when preparation meets opportunity, man. F it. We don't need his effing luck, man. We don't need his, we do not need his luck, man. Man, real talk, the team is picked. The squad is set. It's time for the nation to put 10 toes behind these boys from top to bottom. Let's go. I'm hyped. Sean Thoughts. That is the freaking, man, damn, that was the comment of the day, man. I got to let my brother cook. Oh, Sean Thoughts. Got to let that brother cook. Yo, hey, guys, let me ask you guys a question, man. Have you guys went over and checked out menoforder.com? Go over there, check menoforder.com. Check out Apex, Flow, Rest, all of the supplements we got over there are 100% natural. It is a company that I have a lot of love for. It's a company that I'm involved in. I want you guys to go use your 30% discount if you want to purchase some of those supplements. 30% off, promo code WASTED. menoforder.com. It is in the description of this video. Go on over there and check it out. My brother, Jason Demon Hunter, with the 10 Raider Nation Unlimited featuring Wasted Talent memberships, bro. Thank you for making the Wasted Talent Army grow by droves. Jason Hunter, you are a GOAT, and I really, really appreciate that, my brother. Thank you, yo. Thank you. My guy, Big Mike, is still in the place, man. Shout out to my brother, Big Mike, man. Shout out to my brother, Big Mike. Hey, Big Mike, man, what did you say up here, man? I'm looking for your comment, my brother. Yo, Big Mike putting it at menoforder.com. Y'all see it right there, man. Men of Order. Y'all going over there and check that out. And I want y'all to use my promo code so everybody knows the power of the Wasted Talent Army, yo. I want to show everybody at Men of Order the way we move the needle in Raider Nation. And pay your bar tabs too, man. Raider Jimmy, man. That's right, bro. So, guys, look. Put your questions in. Ty Davis is in a place. Salute to you. Put y'all questions in. Y'all got any more things y'all want to cover? Put that in. Put it in the comment box. We're going to go and take a pause for the cause, man.
Michael Vick here at BetUS.com. Get it all. Huge bonuses, great odds, a race book, live in-game betting, and a casino. BetUS, my online sports book and casino.
Shout out to BetUS, man. My guy, Paulie Walnuts. Yo, this is a brother of my own heart. If he's a soprano, he's from Jersey, right? I'm 57 years old. That stuff is going to give me the shakes before my workouts. Nah, brother, it's going to get you right, my brother. You going over there, brother. It's all natural. It is going to get you right. Bang Zoom, everybody. Put in that. That's what she said. Wasted. Oh, bang Zoom. Bang Zoom. Wasted. Jalen Daniels, QB out of Kansas. Keep your eye on him tonight and this season. Yeah, we're going to go over there and check him out, man. We are going to go over there and check him out, man. Go over to the website, Peyton Hurdle. Go over to the website. I don't think they do, but go to the website. If they do, it will be on the website, bro. We'll BetUS. I have to look into that, man. Got to look into that, man. I'm waiting on the Colorado game as well, man. I want to check out Deion Sanders and how them guys are over there balling, man. So, guys, look, man. Julio Jones. We're going to get back to the Brady talk, man. I feel like he's Mark's contingency plan because his mom's up there in age, and once Mark gets her shares, the NFL is going to smell blood. It is what it is. What is Tom Brady going to do that's going to help Mark? Like, if that was his contingency plan, that doesn't make much sense to me because you would probably want the richest partial owner that you can muster. Tom Brady's not the highest bidder. So if you're worried about the money, you want to bring in a partner who has deep pockets, right? You want to bring in somebody that's bringing more money to the table than Tom Brady. I don't think that is the spirit of why he wants to own a team with Tom Brady, man. Maybe it's a little hero worship, man. I have no idea. Ty Davis said, Brandon Facyson is going hallelujah. I mean, bro, look, man. And let's get back to that, right? Let's get back to the corner situation. I'm just disappointed that it took the Raiders this long to address this. Some of the relationships that Tom Telesco have are great, right? It's great that he knows some of these players. He's reaching back to his days with the Chargers, right? But what concerns me is having a sight blindness for a guy that you have a certain relationship with, and then now that Brandon Facyson is too hurt to play. You can't. He's no use to us. This guy's been taking a roster spot up for the longest when they could have went out there and addressed this at the beginning of the offseason. It's something that pisses me off, man. But the one thing that I am hopeful for, Steven Ramirez, how am I feeling about the linebackers? That's the one thing I'm really, really hopeful for. I love the linebacking core, man. I love all of the kids that we brought in, man. Both of the Amaris, Robert Spillane. I believe if nothing else, Antonio Pierce knows what he wants out of the linebackers he has on his team. I think that Antonio Pierce is going to help bridge that gap when it comes to, some of the deficiencies in Patrick Graham's game. Because Patrick Graham's a brilliant guy, but I think AP's a brilliant guy too. And I think those guys working together can kind of bridge the gap. The one thing I am concerned about is our run defense up front. I'm concerned about that. Now, like a lot of people, I love Amari Gainer, man. I love Amari Gainer. I love the fact that the guy has played Mike, Will, and Sam in college. He was a defensive end at the University of North Carolina. He's played with his hand on the ground too, right? So he has a very, very complete game. He could drop back in the coverage. But the one thing I don't want to do is I don't want to make it like Amari Gainer is like Ray Lewis or something like that. He's a UDFA, right? And I don't want to put too much pressure on him and have the nation saying, oh, this guy's a bum. We got to let the kid develop. He's an undrafted free agent. And we've had a lot of luck with lower draft picks. We've had a lot of luck with UDFAs. And that's great, right? But when you start talking about him, this is a young player. Never forget that. Never, ever forget that. And shout out to my brother Ty Davis, man, for donating 5 Raider Nation Unlimited memberships, man. The Wasted Town Army is growing in droves, man. I appreciate you, bro. Thank you, brother. I don't want us out getting a bunch of 1-year veteran rentals when we aren't a player or two away from anything special. And Jay, that is very, very poignant. That is very, very solid analysis, bro. I feel the same way. Like the foundation of this team is being built currently. We're not right. We're not a player away from going and being a dominant team. I at least I don't think so. So right, let's build this thing up properly, man. El Conquistador, he goes, I'm worried about everything. I masked it by being overly optimistic. Raiders, that's a fact, bro. That's a fact, man. We all do, man. We all feel that way, bro. We're all overly optimistic, falsely optimistic, man. You know what I mean? How do I see it going week one? I think the Raiders have the upper hand, right? I think we have a little more consistency going for us than the Chargers do. I think the Chargers have a whole new regime. We know what to expect from Antonio Pierce. The team knows what to expect from Antonio Pierce. I think you know Justin Herbert being as dynamic as he can be is a concern, but I think this Raider defense is going to go out there and really put it on tape. I do. I have a lot of faith in the Raiders. I think this is going to be a ball control game. Right. And I think the Raiders are going to go out there. We're going to show and prove on the defensive end of the football. And I think Gardner Minshew is going to surprise a lot of people. The Gardner Minshew has a lot of weapons, and he's been an effective quarterback in the National Football League. It's not like he's just a complete bum. I think the thing he struggles with is playing in the construct of an offense. Right. So when I see that, man, and I see that, Luke Getsy can use some of Gardner's mobility and get him outside the pocket within the constructs of how he calls the game. When you start going player for player on the offensive side of the football, I think the Raiders have the Chargers beat. Skill position wise, right? Now, what the Chargers do have is their trench situation as far as their offensive line. They have a lot of young studs on that offensive line, man. And I'm hoping that Max Crosby can go out there and give Joe out the business. And also, what we got to worry about is Khalil Mack. We got to see whether, Khalil Mack won't have an explosion like the last time he played against us. Not the last time, but the time previous last year, when he had 6 sacks, man. Brock Bowers will play. Antonio Pierce addressed that in the presser today. One thing I'm loving Antonio Pierce's the way he communicates. I love it, man. That's one thing about Antonio Pierce, man. He has mastered the media, bro. He understands how to communicate. He knows how to get the most out of his players. And I'm excited to watch Antonio Pierce go out there and cook, man. We're going in the right direction. We have a lot of good young talent on the team, and now not just old one-hit wonders trending upwards. And that's a fact, bro. That's the one thing that I always saw. My guy threw it 27-13 week one. Our O-line holds up Minshew 242 tuds, Zeus 95 and a touch. Man, that sounds pretty solid to me, Thor. Wasted it. We start 3-0. Will you rock the Minshew mania? Bro, you damn right, man. Business in the front. Party in the back. You already know, bro. But we got to go out there, man, and we got to, as a fan base, bro, we got to be patient. We got to let this thing develop, man. We got to let this thing develop. I know nobody wants to hear that from me. People, we want ours right now. We always do, right? We got to let it develop. We got to let it develop, y'all. Now, listen, guys. This show has been brought to you because for some reason, my internet is a little choppy right now. This show has been brought to you by BetUS, man. This show has been brought to y'all by BetUS, man. Shout out to BetUS. And like I said before, guys, got to take the pause of the cause and read this, man. Fastest payouts in the industry, 125% sign-up bonus up to $2,000 for your first 3 deposits. Fast and easy deposit and withdrawal process. And also 24/7, 365 personalized service, live wagering on all major games. You get 10% back on all your net losses twice a year, man. Listen, man, go on over there, check out BetUS, click that link pinned up to the top of my chat. It's going to be in my description, and tell them Wasted Talent sent you. Show the power of the Wasted Talent Army, man. I appreciate you guys, man. Thank you. So, guys, listen, man. We're going to bring this in. We're going to get out of here, man. We are going to be back tomorrow. I appreciate all of the love and the support here for the Wasted Talent Army, man. Love every single one of you guys. Appreciate every single one of y'all. And y'all know, like I always say,
yesterday's price is not today's price.
You goddamn right. The price is going up, y'all. Y'all have a terrific night. We're going to get on out of here, man. And you guys pull on up tomorrow, man. We're going to have some treats for y'all tomorrow, man. I don't know if we're doing 12 personnel tomorrow or a Graph and Wasted or just a Wasted solo show, but all weekend I'm going to be getting at it, man. So y'all pull on up and hit that subscribe button on the way out, man. Peace to every single one of y'all. Y'all enjoy the rest of your night. Thanks.